blood pressuring.
Yeah. Hell yes.
So you get to go in on it.
I'm just joking.
Oh.
What?
Gotcha.
Aren't jokes supposed to be funny?
Oh.
Oh.
5, 4, 3,
2.
Wildly Uninteresting Podcast, episode number 144.
It's Adam's
45.
birthday today.
It's 1:45.
Oh,
Adam's 47 today.
47. Getting up there in
Yeah.
age. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 145. Sorry about that. I said 144. I was wrong. That was wrong.
Man,
Yep.
get it right.
It's wrong. I'm Adam. That's Ian. That's Sarah.
Hi.
Hey.
And we love you to death.
We hope you die. We
We
love you so
tolerate you.
much.
We want to hug you to death. No, thank you for joining us again. Thank you for watching the last couple episodes.
Yeah,
that we've
welcome
had.
back. Thanks for watching
Appreciate
our
it.
other shit.
We got
By the
party
time-
lights.
By the time this comes out,
lights.
it won't be my birthday anymore, but it'll be fun to act like it is.
It's your
Yeah.
birthday somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
No, thank you for joining us again,
Nope.
man. I know that our last podcast, I can't remember. I was reading it, the notes from it, and I was like, "Whoa, what can we bring up this week?" But I think that I've found a subject for today, and my subject for the day is
What year is it in China?
all close, so close.
Close.
What would you tell a teenager that
Right.
is getting out of high school right now that was in the same position you were back when you were getting out of high school? Say that, they have hopes and dreams for college coming up, or they're going to take a year off, or they're not going to go to college at all. They're going to go to the military. They're going what if you were in the position that the young kids are today with all this going on? What advice would you give them for the last because you haven't made it through all your 30s, so your 20s. What advice in their 20s would you give them?
Chase your dreams wholeheartedly, regardless of what people say, and party a lot.
As much as you can.
Not as
Just-
much as you can.
Don't go.
Have limitations.
Yeah, because there's you can go overboard, I guess, with that in anything, and then you end up like an addict and regretting. Yeah. So maybe not so much, but yeah, definitely you have to have
Yeah.
some party within you.
Party, man.
Yeah.
Party hard.
I think too, something I waited till like my senior year, the last semester of my senior year, to like go out and party and stuff, because I was trying to get this girl and she would always talk about it. So I was like, well, I gotta, make up for lost time. I gotta get partying.
Yeah.
And I did, and then I ended up really liking it more than I should have. It was actually pretty fun, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that I would offer kids, like you said, the chasing dreams thing. So here's the breakdown of that, right? So most times, and most parents, and most society does this to kids. I don't know why, but say you want to chase your dreams, and you say, I'm going to chase, and you could say the dumbest fucking underwater basket weaving is what I always go to, right? That's what you want to do for a living, right?
Beavers do it. Kind of.
That's right.
What advice do you give the younger kids that want to chase their dreams, but their parents and everybody around them are like, you have to get a real job. You have to make a living. You can't make a living banking on something that may never happen. Like, how do you fight that sensation? Because I know that I didn't fight that sensation. I, sucked it up and went, and it was soul crushing and shit like that. So what advice do you have to offer on that subject?
You just do it.
Don't fucking give a shit about no
Who
one.
gives a shit?
I think we have a hard time.
Oh, dear.
We have a hard time fighting that at a younger age. We're still learning how to be a part of the world, and we're still trying to see where we fit in. So it's hard to chase your dream and unwavering when you're still worried about what people think about you, your image to the rest of the world, and what you're putting out there. Because let's face it, we all did that when we were younger. We could say that I didn't give a shit and stuff like that, but when we look back and really are honest with ourselves and other people, we were really trying to fucking be something for something or somebody.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yes. But I feel like there are levels of that. Because I feel like even though I still cared, I cared a lot less than other people.
I can see that. Yeah, with you for sure. Yeah.
So,
But that's something that's hard. I think that, and with social media, it makes it even harder for them not to give a shit because now the whole world is watching these people sometimes,
Right.
you know. And then like your extended family, it has something to say. Even though you don't ever even see those people, they have some shit to say about your life. Like you're
Right.
doing some shit wrong. Like,
yeah.
I think my advice would be to not take things too seriously, no matter what you're doing, because there's so much pressure, especially to like go to college. There's, you gotta have like your applications in and your backups and all this shit. Like, if that's what you want to do, cool. Do it the right way. If it's not what you want to do, you don't have to do it right away. Go do what you want.
Yeah.
It's
Take a year off.
absolutely explore and, travel or do whatever the hell you want to do. If you want to spend that year, having sex with people and
Fucking
partying, do it safely.
Don't be a fool. Wrap your tool.
Absolutely, dude. And you can
No,
get
you're right.
tested,
yeah.
and whether you're a girl or a boy or other at Planned Parenthood, you can get tested. I don't know where it's coming from.
It's
Cats are making
somewhere.
I
popcorn.
know. Yes, they are. For free.
For free.
And
No.
no. Maybe.
Huh.
But yes, you can get tested for free and they will take care of you.
Yeah.
They have the needle exchange. So if they can test you for hepatitis, which I actually think Planned Parenthood tests for hepatitis, I'm not sure. But just in case you've got other options. So, I'm just saying being smart, no matter what you're doing. And, be nice to people. Be kind to others and to yourself. And
there's
just
definitely
do what you want to do.
There's a lot that can be done by being nice to other people and almost overly nice. Like, live for other people. You know what I mean? Because it's not all about us and you, and it's not about the individual. It's about us collectively and what's best for us collectively.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't expect somebody to be good to you.
What's best
You're
for
not
us
good to them.
collectively?
Just to approach everything with love and understanding and compassion. And a lot of us don't do that because we're all individuals out for ourselves. We talked about like there's always going to be, even in a peaceful world, there's always going to be that one asshole that's, Hitler, or that one asshole that's mine and I want it,
Right.
When we talked about working like independently or together, as much as we all have that little person inside of us that's like, we want the credit for everything and we want to, achieve. You gotta be good to people, man, so that they can help you. You never know who's about to help you in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Who's about to be that person that fucking puts it over the edge for you, shows back up later. But I agree with it, all that. That's awesome because I always worry about that. I think, too, something I was thinking about right before the podcast is to listen to yourself when you're a teenager and shit. Your parents and then other people and other adults will put you down for being young and you don't know and all this stuff. You don't know best. They do and shit like that. There is something I did back in high school that nobody around me was doing. And I used to it was so fucking simple, dude. I would
Jerk off before gym class.
So everybody's doing that. We were in a circle at that point. But no, I would build these videos like when a teacher asked for a project. It was an easy way out for me compared to other people. Other people would do these big essays and shit. So what I would do, I would hand the people in my group this like a paperwork that was like, here, just read these lines. I'm going to fucking record you with this cheap ass camera. I'm going to, put it in the computer. I'm going to throw in a bunch of fucking files I find online, to cut in and pictures and shit. Yeah. And then all you're doing is stating facts that we read from somewhere, right? And I'm going to cut that in. I'm going to put it on a CD. I'm going to bring a DVD player in, and I'm going to play it for the class. And we would always get an A on that. But at the time, there was no YouTube. There was no, Facebook shit. There wasn't any of that. So it didn't make sense at the time, but I liked doing it. And I didn't listen to those things. I didn't listen to those talents. So if you just pay attention to what you're doing in that creative zone of being like that growing person, I think you'll find something you really, really like doing.
Yeah.
And you could change the world. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if it doesn't make sense at the time.
Yeah, what you like to do doesn't have to be like a thing that exists already.
Yeah. We talked about that yesterday, about approaching the things that you cannot see like approaching those things, even though you can't see it. Nobody's ever laid the path, and we talked about it.
I thought it was like, don't run up on a ghost.
You might be doing it. You never know.
But you know, somebody has to lay down those paths. So who's it going to be? You know, you're going to let somebody else do it, or you're going to, if you can't see it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just hasn't been created yet.
Right.
So fucking go forth and create.
Go for it.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
but what about the people that aren't doing anything of value? And they just use this as a way to justify their shitty behavior.
Well, they're going to be shitty anyway.
Do you think they're destined
Make
to
better
be shitty?
choices.
Right.
I think really that's what it all comes down to. Is like make good choices. You know, I mean, we mentioned if you want a party. I mean, but you should still make good choices. We're just saying it's life isn't that serious, but choices matter. Like what you do does matter.
So I think like the idea of making good choices is like it implies that you know the right way to go. So like when people are confused and they don't know what the hell's going on, instead of like, oh, make good choices, like make minimal terrible choices.
Right. Just make
terrible.
a decision and move forward. Yeah.
That's a better way to put it, because that makes you feel less like shit when you do make a mistake. Right there, it's like make the least amount of fuck ups you can.
Yeah,
possibly. You're gonna make them.
It's gonna happen.
Just try to minimize them.
It's weird to think that like you know that you're gonna make stupid decisions and things are horrible.
It is
Just
weird.
that.
Yeah. I know you sound like you're going to say more.
No, definitely not.
It is weird to think about, but I mean, it's something that people don't really talk about, that you know you're going to. It's like people do expect other people to be perfect.
Slightly the
just
authority state.
Just don't actively make terrible choices.
Yeah.
That's
to be spiteful, and I love spite.
Yeah.
But maybe minimize that.
That's after I got out of prison and we were on the right track and shit like that. It was amazing to me how many people come up and they were like, a lot of people prayed for me. A lot of people were there that I didn't know was there, that were watching the story and watching the moves and sad about the shit that was going on, because I'd built this group of people that I was very good to, and I was a good person. I was nice and courteous and all that. And then this demon come out and fighting against this certain thing led me to make shitty, like outwardly shitty decisions instead of like the good person I was. So when you build a base of being good to people, you'll never, I'm telling you don't know who's gonna be there to back you up.
Yeah.
Like who's going to appear later in life. It's amazing the people who appear later in life.
And there's
so
a
good to them.
big difference between being a shitty person and making some bad choices.
Yeah, doing shitty things.
Yeah, there's a big difference. Your actions don't, I guess, identify you. I mean, if every single thing you're doing is awful, then you're awful.
Yeah.
But most people aren't.
I don't think most people are doing
awful.
it.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't really like the idea of like good people or bad people.
Right.
They're just people.
Yeah.
Doing good things and bad things.
Yeah. Sometimes you do stupid shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shitty way to be too. That's the whole black and white discussion. Like everything's so infinite, and that's something I was going to say. Like my bad choices led to prison, right? Eventually led to prison. But after I got out, I realized how many people did more, almost in my eyes, more fucked up shit than I did, right? And then they would always tell me, people that I thought were higher up in business people and stuff like that, I was trying to impress. They were like, oh, I was just as fucked up as you were, but I just didn't get caught, right? And people say that nonchalantly, like, oh, I didn't get caught. And they don't know how bad it is when you do get caught, or you don't get to make the bad choices without the huge consequence. You get to skate off and then learn the lesson later in life easier, And that's something that always baffled me, is like, that's the absolute truth. Like, you could make the same we're just human. Just because I made it, I'm not in a group by myself that's all fucked up. Like, I'm just one of the ones that got caught, one of the bad ones that got caught, So, I don't know, you just have to try to minimize your fuck-ups and minimize your chances of getting caught doing those fuck-ups.
Well, and what do you do afterwards? I mean, that's
what really matters,
a real thing. How do you come back from it? And
how do you make up for your wrongdoing?
Yeah.
What is your mindset towards your wrongdoings?
Yeah.
But definitely,
everyone makes mistakes.
one of you all said it, but I think that if I had it all to do again, I would definitely fucking travel a lot more when I was younger and wasn't tied down. Unfortunately, I think I was very insecure and I needed somebody in my life to make me feel complete and shit. I had like this bad vision of what love and relationships were, and I relied on somebody to make me feel better about me, which it doesn't work out. Don't do that to yourself. But I wish that I would have taken, even that year, if you take it off, I don't care what you have to do. If you have to like beg for change on the side of the road or whatever, you get the opportunity to go travel anywhere. Yeah. Anywhere but where the fuck you live, because the world is a big, vast place filled with amazing things. And your little podunk town in the middle of nowhere ain't got shit on the world. Like, it's amazing.
Unless you grew up in L.A., then maybe go to a podunk town.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
Go see what they're about, for sure.
Yeah, there's different people all across the world.
Run off and do the opposite of what you're accustomed to.
Definitely seek people who are not a part of your group and that you would never seek out otherwise. Like, go seek out the, crazy people if you're, conservative, and fucking just go, most conservative if you're a wild motherfucker, because it's just definitely get your bearings in this world is going to eat you up if you don't have experiences.
I think most importantly, just like you can break it down, do whatever the fuck you want, but learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you'll be fine.
Every experience, learn from it.
Because if you destroy a bunch of grapes, as long as you collect the shit, you can have wine. But if you're not collecting the shit, knowledge,
it was useless.
Then you just destroyed some shit.
Grape destroyer.
That's a good metaphor for that, dude.
That'd be a horrible band name.
I know it would.
Unless it was like somebody that's like, I crush you.
I think I've had like almost 10 people that I could name personally that, like, within the course of me from getting out of high school, and 10 people that very close to, not like, that I knew him in school, saw him every day or whatever, that I really, really knew die, right? In their young years, in their 20s. One was, right before 20. So my thing is, like, as much as these old cats are real when they're like, you got to save and think about the future and shit, that's true. But you don't know how long your future is. And I'm not saying, like, throw fucking caution wind, say fuck it to everything, but I'm telling you right now.
Drop caution to the left.
Yeah, because people that I would have never thought pass away for multiple different reasons are gone. And they're like 21, 22, 25, 30. You don't know when that shit's coming. So
it's better to burn out than to fade away.
Fuck yeah. Enjoy the time you have here.
Hey-o.
And plus, by the time, I'm fucking 32, and I feel like, I got aches and pains because of the job I chose to do, you know what I mean? So you can say, like, when I'm 60, I won't even be able to enjoy it. Bro, when you're like 30, 40, depending on the job that you chose, you're going to be hurting anyways.
Don't skip back in bicep day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing backflips when you're 40, so go do that backflip off the ridge at the lake, because this is your last chance, bro.
No shit. Yeah.
You want to do backflips, just do it somewhere smart.
Yeah. Fuck. But, yeah, I think that's something that we, as we get older, we try to, like, forget. And something, too, when we were talking about, like, that individuality, when we get older, man, we get, like, adamant, like, fuck the younger generation, like, for two reasons. One, because we think they're fucking idiots. Two,
they probably
we know that, say, like, an 18-year-old is more athletic, all that. By the time we're 40, we're mad at that person because it's an image of who we used to be and the abilities that we used to have, and the regrets that we have for not doing the things that we wanted to do when we were that age. And they have all the opportunity, and you're just trying to shake the shit out of them. Just use all your opportunity. And it's like, I think that there's a little bit of resentment, but a little bit of, like, you don't even have the experience to do, like, whatever. And we give them shit. So I think, we need to focus on those kids, because one thing you can't fight and nobody can make fun of you of is old age. It's the only thing you can't make fun of, because we're all going there. Like, you can't turn it around.
Except those dudes died at 21.
They're forever young.
I don't know. I don't feel the second thing. Like, I don't. It's not like, you have this that I don't. It's just they're stupid. And that annoys me. It's like
heathens.
if somebody brings you like brownies from an easy bake oven and they make you like this badass recipe that they made from scratch that took like 4 hours to make. It's like there's going to be a lot more nuance there. And without the nuance and like the cool shit that goes into it, it's like, oh, this is just like basic shit.
Yeah.
Because like the
I
idea
want the easy bake oven brownies.
No.
Well, look who you're talking about. Yeah,
I know. It's fine. If you like that, that's fine.
No, it's
you.
not.
Okay.
But for the sake of this, yeah, I think it's just a constant frustration with people that are of a lesser mindset. And that annoys me.
Yeah.
I'm with you
Kids
because we went to see Jordan Peterson and being in the room. And I'm going to say this right now, and I don't give a shit who the fuck has a problem with it.
What Adam
Some
says.
of the people that he attracts to his shows are who you think that would be at the shows. Unfortunately, people who spin a narrative for their own well-being, their own thoughts and ideals of how the world is and how the world was when Trump was in office and stuff. It attracts people who are, like you just said, in my opinion, not just for like their political, I don't give a shit who's the president. I'm just saying the things that they protest against, the things that they fight, the things that they're talking about are baseless. They're almost like reading a Bible. There's no actual fact, you know. And I think that's, if in my opinion, they base a lot of things off of a lesser mindset, right? And then you had a large group of people that were there intellectually to try to gain some sort of whatever juice this guy has within his brain, you know?
Get that Jordan juice.
Let me get that juice, cuz. So before I, go forward and saying that, because I was thinking when I was in the crowd and I was looking at the two different people, the people that are, opening 12 beers right next to us, like back to back. Compared to they were just like popping them up.
I had 2 beers before we got there and 2 double scotches. I'm
No,
part of this problem.
No. I mean, they literally brought all that, and then they had their like, let's go Brandon shirts on, and gun toting, conservative. Jordan Peterson is saying that everything I say is right, and in reality, Jordan Peterson thinks of it a lot bigger than that. Yes, some of the aspects of what you believe are right, but a lot of it's baseless, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there looking at the two group of people and the people that are there intellectually and actually paying attention to what he's saying and actually trying to gain some knowledge from this guy. And I was like, am I a part of the idiot group that is just there like, go Jordan Peterson, fucking let's drink Bud Light and fucking, slap our girls' asses or whatever.
Right.
And or am I a part of the people?
Bud Light and slapping ass.
Or am I the type of people that want to actually learn and dig deep into these huge concepts of life and try to work it out, whatever. So I think that's, I don't quite know where I was going with that, but the people of the lesser mindset is what I was saying.
All right. Well, great. Because I think that within that, every person that was there, even if they're like of a lesser mind than we are, there are some there of greater mind. Yeah. And the fact that they show up in that forum shows that they're at least trying. And that's pretty sweet. Yeah. Yeah.
And for the fact, too, that a lot of the 12 rules, and this is what I like about the 12 and 12 more, they're really about being, which he can only speak from the man's position, and that's why it kind of comes across as the man's position, because that's what he knows personally. About being, about being a good man, about loving the person that you're with, about showing your appreciation to that person, about being a team, about raising kids. I mean, he's literally, people hate on him, but he's like trying to make better men is what he's doing. Whether he comes across misogynistic to some people or not, he's trying to build better men that really give a shit about what they're doing, about their wives, about their kids, and being there and present.
I just think with people, though, it's annoying because it's like, he speaks from the perspective of a man, but if Mother Teresa were to write a book about kindness, then it wouldn't be, she's writing a book from the perspective of the feminine. It's just, here's some good advice for everybody.
Yeah, everybody should read it. I know.
People need to stop like dividing good advice. It's like, this is for men, this is for women. No, it's for humans.
They, meaning the people that don't like Jordan Peterson fucking hate him.
I know.
I never knew that there were so many but they cannot stand him. They hate everything he says, and they.
So I feel like that shit comes from a position of irrationality.
Yes, for sure.
I know where I was going with that whole spill right there.
Bring it back around, buddy.
You ready? So the whole thing was me sitting there, and like us, we've been to dinner the last 2 nights. Those 2 nights, right? But in a week, right? And we're literally talking about like goals and what we plan to do with podcasts, videos, production, like all that shit, right? And really trying to work things out. Right. So I attribute you to this group of people that I feel like challenge my intellect and challenge me personally to do better. But I do have a lot of people in life that don't do that. So being in the presence of somebody like that demands more out of himself and the people in his crowd and the people who read his books and shit like that, it dawned on me that like even wearing nice dress clothes, like I'm like, I want to be better, and I want to surround myself with people that make me nervous to be around them because I feel like they're smarter than me, or that you're wiser and fucking they're more outgoing and stuff like that.
You can learn something from them.
It's like asking that business owner about doing a commercial for him. Like it really, like I'm okay doing my professional thing that I'm a master at for him as a peasant in a sense, but it's just to like work with him and collaborate. It just made me nervous. I'm like, I have to do this now because I know that nervous feeling is the excitement of being a part of something that's greater than I am. You know what I mean? So I think being in his audience, it makes you want to be better and to surround yourself with better people, not in, economically speaking, monetarily speaking, but intellectually, and it challenging you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it's nice to be around people that don't want to just scroll through TikTok all day.
Thank you. Yeah. Fucking down.
Yeah. I don't know, some people at work, they were talking about reading and stuff, and they're like, oh, I don't do that. I don't really know anybody that does that.
That.
Like, what the fuck? It's like what Bill Hicks was talking about, like when he like went to the comedy club or whatever, and the rednecks were there, and maybe it was at a restaurant, and the waitress or whatever was like, what are you reading for?
Stupid.
I made fun of, which now I look back, I'm like, what an asshole. Like I was joking on these 2 people. They went to a bar, the bar I was doing work for, and they come in. I mean, this fucking place is loud, it's busy and shit. I mean, these drunk people are yelling beside them, and this couple comes in specifically to read books together. Like she was reading hers, he was reading his. And, they were quiet because they were reading, and they were just, I guess it was like an atmosphere thing. They just wanted to be around people.
Yeah, they wanted to get out.
Yeah. And they were reading, and I was like, look at these fucking people reading. And then I felt like an asshole. I'm like, well, more of us probably need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Probably.
Yes.
Definitely.
Wouldn't kill every single person on the planet
Don't
to read
get
more.
a book.
No.
Yeah.
Even if it's like you said, I always shit on myself for that, but you said like the Audible stuff. Even if you just go do an audiobook instead of, the amount of information that is held within books is vastly more, informative than what you're watching on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, unless you get like from a crap publisher or something, stuff that's in a book is typically constructed in a better way. It's been fact checked.
Yeah.
So I mean, it has to go through a process. It's like, oh yeah, I can probably trust this. If somebody's going to dump 5 years of their life into it, they're probably not just making it up.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Ever. Yeah. The fact that a book is almost definitely guaranteed to be solid information.
Yeah, more often
than
not.
Thought about that.
Unless it's something that I hate. I hate that this is a thing. And I had a buddy that was like, you should do this. Because I think it's so stupid, right? So there's a thing going around, just like, drop shipping become a thing when, any money making scheme became a thing. So people are like going and copying stuff from the internet, putting it within these like bullshit publishing companies' books, right? They're making these like paperback things, and then they sell those things on Amazon. They're like, look at my new book that came out, right? But in reality, it's just pretty much a copy and paste style thing. but it's one of the get rich quick things. They're like, if you can get enough people to, buying this book, and there's really not any solid information in there, right? It's all just like fluff. The entire book is, and there's a lot of people doing this.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
It is crazy.
They're muddy in the white. So if you ruin knowledge within print, when in that realm, like you're for one a shitty person, but that's literally to the core breaking people down to be idiots.
To where we cannot trust anything at all.
No.
Of course, I guess that's where you could just look at the publisher information on if you order from Amazon. We learned that we ordered once, and it was just it was the correct book, but just the printing of it was like a big line down the center of it, so you couldn't read the words. It was a big white line right down the center.
They printed this shit on like a regular ass printer and that stapled it together and sent it to you.
Yep.
But it's
we sent it back.
I've seen books like that about like voodoo stuff. And,
that's like look up anything.
It says like the binding is Staples.
Look up any of your people. There's a few of them that are fucking like whatever, but they're just making money because they've talked the most shit to get the most people to buy into their dumb shit. So like I was looking on YouTube the other day. I'm like, because there's like a promotion style thing, but I don't want to like pay per click because what if a lot of people click and don't watch it, and then like I'm spending out 1,000 or so whatever.
Right.
So I was like, I'm trying to look into that. And then I got caught up watching all these videos, and it was like how to get like 1 million subscribers within a month, how to like build this whatever company, how to get 100, 1,000 whatever's likes and shares, all that tomorrow and shit like that, right? Yeah. So I was like, I want to watch these just to see the useless information that they're pumping. So they do that. And if you notice when you click on the videos, these people get like 100 views or, 300,000 when they're talking about millions of views. Like, well, if it's so easy and you're saying you're giving people advice, why aren't your videos hitting that? Like, why are you? And most of the information they'll give you is just like reading the Bible. There's no fucking, it's all like this up to interpretation style information giving. They're just like, you get a bunch of views, they're fucking, it's all bells and whistles and colors for the, the idiots just to drool over. And then most of the people aren't going to put the work in that they say, because guess what? There's no fucking work there. It's like somebody watching and being like, I know how to fucking build a house. No, you know how to watch it on TikTok. You know what YouTube says about it, but you've never put in the work to do it. But that's okay. You can be an idiot. Just say that.
Yes.
Please.
I'd say just start with somebody that knows something.
Yeah.
And then just go from there.
Yeah, like have a slight mentor style relationship with them. Get a little bit of information off.
Well, if you can rock that. But I was just thinking like in terms of information, like with the Agrippa crap, you just like go in, you look at what the hell is that thing in the back?
Appendix.
You look in that shit. And then you find out what they pulled from, and then you go from there. It's like finding good bands. I used to just buy like different bands' albums, and I would look in their thank yous. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, what bands are they on about?
Yeah,
and you can go from there.
That is a big way to do it. And I don't quite get it, but that's like it always baffles me that these people that put out all these videos that give you these like tools to fucking whatever, and they hype you up and shit. It's so crazy that they give you no like. So I think everything that you want to do, if you want to accomplish it, it's very simple. You don't need a big video and stuff like that. It's just like you put the one foot in front of the other, you do the first step, you move, you do the work, whatever, right? It's so simple. It really is. But like I asked that marketing guy, and he makes fucking hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars giving people advice and teaching people how to, get their company out there and doing the work for them. But I asked him straight up, I'm like, what do I have to do to get my videos seen anymore? He's like, the fucking algorithms lie to you. They don't build off that. When all these companies went public, where people can invest in them, and went public, they had to make a profit. How do they do that? You have to pay to be higher on the list. And if you don't pay, your videos will never be seen. He was like, I'm telling you that right now. That's what, maybe a 30-second to a minute video of you just telling people how fucking, do the work. That's all you have to say. Video over.
Yeah.
Fucking get off of YouTube. And go put in the first fucking like paperwork you got to do to build your company or something, you know?
Yeah.
Stop fucking lying to these people and feeding them a dream.
Step 1, paperwork.
Yeah. They're not, I think people want to be lied to and be told it's so easy because we had talked about that. They want to be lied to so that they know that it's always a possibility if they ever choose to. They're like, oh, then I can do that. I don't have to, but I know I can't because it's so easy.
It makes me think of people that have asked me, like, songwriting stuff. It's like, oh, how do I write songs? How do I get people to want to play? You just fucking do it.
Don't talk to someone.
Yeah. It's not like, oh, okay, well, here, step 1, write something.
Get a pen. I'm going to tell you the secret.
It's like people want to know how to do things, but they don't want to do things.
They won't, yeah.
Like, oh, hey, how do you do this? Oh, you rub this milk jug. And out will come the Finnish god.
You gotta go to the corner of this road and this road.
Yeah.
we had a friend,
blood.
a friend of ours asked like all the questions about building a company. I'll show you the difference between two people, and I'm not, whatever. The first person said that, and we obviously already knew that they were somebody who would do that. They didn't put in the work. They just wanted to act like they knew and stuff like that. They just wanted the information, not do nothing with it. So I was like, look, they wanted to build a company and whatever. So I was like, I'll have Sarah write some shit up, tell you what we did to start ours. 3 years later, we're pretty successful in the matter. I was like, we'll give you that information. That way you can start. You'll be fine. Sure enough, Sarah works this fucking thing up over a week. All this step-by-step thing, gives it to the person. Motherfucker, I texted him like 2 days later, and the motherfucker was like, oh, I didn't have to do all that stuff in the beginning. I did it a different way. I'm like, well, you did it wrong.
He told us we were wrong.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that stuff.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to pay for that and this stuff.
Okay.
You don't have to lock it down through an EIN and all this other stuff. I'm like, all right, well, you're never going to start that company. I was like, because you're wrong. I was like, you think, but they want the easy way out, of course, right? So we did all that and stuff like that, and years later, it never moved. They even purchased fucking
the stuff for it.
When I say it was thousands of dollars for equipment, and it's just been setting. They never put the work into it. They always had an excuse. And that's bothersome to me because I know that like what people are capable of, and it sucks when she puts in work and people just shit on it. I have another buddy though. She did the same thing, sent the paperwork to him, and they're sorry. I mean, I never thought he would be out of a company, and he's starting his thing, and actually putting forth the effort. And
he's got like a logo and everything. This motherfucker
spent money on a program to just create that for. I mean, he's put the time, the effort, the thought, the planning, all that. And we're a very small portion of like that. I'm not saying that it's us at whatever, but I'm just saying that through her information, I think little things boost you along the way of an ideal. I want to do this, and then other people do this shit, like but yeah, that guy, I mean, it won't be long and he'll be out on his own like fucking killing it. But that other person like will never, I'm telling you, will never, because they like to watch TikTok and fucking pretend like they're doing some shit when they're not.
What if what he wanted to do wasn't actually part of his long-term, we'll say, plan? Whoever the hell
guy?
the first guy.
The first guy. Whatever he wanted to do.
It's like that could just be him in the process of like feeling it out. Like, what do I want to do? Okay, well, this isn't what I really want to do. I don't feel it. So I'm just going to say, oh, well, I didn't need that. I can do this. And then he's like, instead of over here in Avenue A, he's over here in B.
I mean,
he might just be a worthless bag of crap. I don't know.
He is. He probably shouldn't have spent all that money on the shit for something that he didn't want to do.
I wouldn't say like truly worthless. I just think that it's a form of you're intellectually hindered in the fact that like you're not thinking correctly. Like if you're gonna jump. If you're gonna buy all the equipment and prepare and all this other shit, don't fucking make up excuses. Go do it, or send the motherfucking shit back so you're not in debt over it, right?
Yeah.
And then you whine and cry about fucking like how things up. Well, there's a reason between it, but you don't want to listen to nobody. You know what I mean? There's things that play in that situation. And it's like it just it's tiresome.
Well, yeah. But, it's just part of the thing.
Yeah.
I played soccer. I don't play soccer now.
I'd have never guessed that.
Did you really?
like for a week or two.
Oh.
But that's the thing where Thos is always like, you owe me $20 for soccer. But I was on basketball teams and like baseball teams and shit. I don't play that shit.
Where was there soccer?
I don't remember.
Oh.
It was like little generals.
Oh,
But,
okay.
It wasn't for school.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Or maybe I did, but I just...
Yeah, it was the thing where it was like, yeah, look, man, I don't mind running, but I don't like it on like Thursdays and Saturdays.
Yes, those are the worst days to run.
Yeah, every other day would be great, but that's why this doesn't work for me.
Yes.
Bro, I'm all for that for sure. Like I agree, and I think that the thing that upsets me more about it is like that's how they have approached everything in life, and none of it's ever panned out except for the job that they're currently at, and they've worked their way up, and that's grand. But when you're fucking truly at heart miserable, and you're just like fading away into this blackness of a company that doesn't give a shit about you and probably will sell at any time.
Yeah.
They don't care that you're working for them. They're going to sell at any time. It's like, it's just baffling that you could be so unhappy, stay in the rut, and just because it's comfortable, you just ignore the fact that you are god awful. Like, you are so fucking depressed about it. You're so mad at being where you're at.
But does he drink?
No.
Does he smoke weed?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then there you go.
There you go.
I think
Yeah.
the
You don't
thing
need to
for
fix it, just
me
get high.
that's so frustrating is the continues to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
How unhappy he is, and
And
how
talks
much he
about he's
hates
gonna
it,
do
and
it.
how he's going to change it, and how he can't wait to do all these things. Shut up.
It's like
You're not going to do anything. You would have done it already.
it's like the boy
Stop.
who cried wolf.
Yeah, no one
And you're
cares.
done at this point.
I used to complain about how miserable I was, and then I did nothing, and it magically fixed itself.
Yeah.
and then it'll just be like, man, don't be a dick about it. Well, then shut the fuck up.
That's that's true, man. And then I'm glad that we're seeing it from two different perspectives, like that kind of mode of thinking, which I think is a majority of the people that are unhappy and fucking whatever. They just don't want to follow the path. They want it to be easy and shit. And then you have the other part that they like the other guy that is literally, putting in the work, and not only that, but working a job that demands a lot.
Yeah.
It demands so much out of him, and he's still trying. And he has 2 kids, a wife, a big house. He has all these things that are stresses just like the other person. But he's putting forth that effort on his downtime, which is not plentiful. It's like every now and then. So you can't tell me it can't be done. You can't tell me you don't have time, bro. I know you do.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
I don't have time is essentially like what Jordan Peterson
don't
was
wanna
talking
do
about,
it.
like with I don't know. It's like, I know, but leave me alone. And it's like, oh, I don't want to put in the time because, like, I've been at a place where it was like I was miserable, but I didn't have the energy to do anything about it.
Yeah.
I was like, this misery is just like,
Yeah.
So then, I would just drink a lot and smoke a bunch of weed, and I was like, oh, I feel great. I feel better. This is fine.
I don't think about it no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I
helps.
can get, like, being so miserable or being depressed to where you can't do anything, I get. But he's not, like, so depressed. Like, he still, like, does stuff. He shops. He spends his money that he doesn't have. He, like, buys weed and he smokes weed and he, like...
See, even, like, the shopping and the buying of things that he doesn't have the money for, that falls into the idea of, what the hell is it? Retail therapy, I guess? Because I did that, too. It's like every little thing that I would buy, I was like, oh, I'm miserable. I'm going to go buy something.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, man, I feel good. I got these pens. I'm going to write a bunch of shit. And I didn't write anything.
You got dope pins, though. That's all
I
that
told
matters.
you all that.
Now I have more than ever.
I forgot what it is that I bought. Maybe it was the camera. I was still super excited about it, but I was very depressed for a while now. And I thought, like, buying something, I was like, if I just go out there, it's expensive. I've been wanting it. It's going to do this and this for me. And then when I bought it, I came home. that happiness when I bought it, and all the possibilities, that happiness.
Yeah.
And then I got home and I realized, I'm still depressed. Like, didn't change anything, my mood or nothing. My inner body feeling was still fucking deep. And I was like,
Yeah. You had
I learned
surface
it.
joy for a moment.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
No shit. And that's what I was like, well, I won't make that mistake twice. Because usually I don't buy a lot for myself. So I'm like, when I do, I thought it was going to like fix the problem. Maybe that's why. Maybe because I haven't bought. And then, nope, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
What if the purpose of people around you not actually doing anything, like they're there, like that's their purpose to motivate you to not be like that?
Yep. I am with you on that 100%. You know why? Because I've had people in the past that I've worked for or whatever that will tell me one thing. They're like, this is how you need to do it because look, I'm doing it, right? But I can visually see something different, right? So they're saying they're putting all this hard work in. They're saying that they're building a company. They're saying they're doing all these things. And then I see them being lazy and foregoing work for, pleasure and all this stuff. And I see like what's happening within their relationships with people and their significant other. So in the lesson that you were telling me, I took the opposite from it by what I was viewing. So I listened to what you're saying to me. So you're saying you're putting all this work and stuff, and then you're doing this one thing and you have all these outcomes. So I need to listen to not doing what the fuck you do and actually like taking the lesson. So I pull from the negative and the positive from somebody's message by what I view in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's always taking the opposite usually of what people say, because a lot of people will lie to you because they want you to believe that they're doing some grand thing that they're not. So you just, your perspective, you watch and see what they're doing and then just do the opposite. And anybody in the position that you want to be in, fucking follow the shit to a T. You know what I mean? And I only say that because, one of the big concerns is always like time and money and the ability to do and make their own schedule and stuff like that. And all these things are laid out because we've done them for 3 years. And I try to tell them that. It would answer all their questions. It's like, it's super hard in the beginning. You work through the shit, you'll get there, and then you can make, be free in that sense. So it's still stressful. Everything's going to be stressful. You still got to work. That sucks. But it's better than the alternative. And they're like, no, I think you're wrong. I think I could do it like this or whatever. Well, fucking, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you want the pain of discipline or the pain of regret?
I think pain of regret. Do you believe that pain of regret is a worse feeling than the other?
Yeah.
I think for sure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pain of hard work isn't that bad. But
no, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm sitting there,
doing shit is terrible.
Sometimes I'm sitting there and I know I should be doing something else, or I get behind on some shit, or I'm a master procrastinator. I feel fucking terrible for just not doing the work in the beginning, or terrible for not whatever, and it always bites you in the ass and stuff. So that fucking pain lingers where the hard work doesn't. Yeah. And at the end of hard work, you get this like either thing you're doing or whatever, you get the joy of knowing that you put in effort. It's a big difference.
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry.
God damn it.
Oh, no.
So I guess with all that said, I think that listen to the people. I think when we go back to the be honest with yourself, stop fucking put on this facade of somebody who wants to change and do these grand things when you're not that person. Just be who you are and be honest that you're not going to put forth the effort.
I mean, I lived in a pretty grand fantasy land until I was like 30.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Grand fantasy.
Yeah.
That's, what do you mean by the...
this is just like, I was one of those people who was like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm, I'm this. And I wasn't doing any of the work for it. I was just pretending.
Yeah. But and social media allows people to do that at a grander scale as well, because you take these pictures and that's all that anybody sees. As long as you're smiling and you got a jet behind you, they don't ask questions.
See, it wasn't even a matter of like flexing for social media. It was just I was lying to myself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's easy to do, isn't it? Like lying to yourself.
Very.
Yeah.
But then once you realize that it's happening, because I mean it's easy to do it if you're not thinking about it. Mm-hmm. But then once you realize you're doing it, it's like, oh man, I can't keep doing that. Yeah.
I
think
it's
weird.
Dude, some people probably fucking are like, all right, well, I just got to keep the lie up, whatever it takes. Like, because that's why
yourself to be oblivious.
Yeah, I beg. Like that's why I like talking to you and I like talking to her, because usually there's a little bit of bias when it comes to her, and I'm sure a slight one when it comes to you. But I think that you all are truly honest with the shit. And that's why if I always tell her, like, I will create these things that I believe that I am, right? And then I'll present them to her like, oh, I didn't do hard enough here, or I didn't do enough for this customer, or whatever. I didn't work hard enough on this project or make that video good enough. And then, I approach her with those ideals, and then she lays out the work I put in and just make sure that I'm being honest with myself and other people. And if I'm dishonest by any measure, to go back to those people and be like, look, I was fucking lying. I went back to my therapist like it because I lied in the beginning because I was like, well, I'm not going to do this for long. So I'll just lie about a few things. And then I went back the next visit. I was like, man, I fucking lied to you about like 2 or 3 things. Let me lay those out real quick. I was like, because I don't want to start this lying and then this turn into something that I like doing.
I made you a T-shirt with the things I lied about.
I hope you like it.
Awesome.
So that's something that I think that is beneficial. It's just not to lie to yourself, and if you have to, get people around you that will be extremely honest to you. You know what I mean? We all need that.
Yeah, but that implies that you're strong enough to deal with that.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't take constructive criticism.
A lot of people, bro.
Yeah.
It's sad how many people are like, crumble in the face of that.
But then even with the constructive criticism, like, you have to be smart enough to know when to not take it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because some people will just give you the constructive because they want to feel like they're helping you in a sense.
Yeah. You're like, oh, man, I'm an idiot and I'm wrong, but you're an idiot and that's wrong too.
Yeah. Where you're both wrong in the situation. I've been in those, dude. That's a hard one to call. Yeah. When you're, say you got a buddy like the one I'm talking about, and then you're like both on the wrong path, but you keep like amping each other up and lying to one another, and you're like, oh, he would be honest to me, right? But he's not honest to himself, so why the fuck would he be honest to you?
Yeah.
And then you get down the line, and then you're like, you're both fucking assholes. I don't know. That's a good point to make, though. Very good point.
Thanks, man. Now let's take the nihilistic approach that nothing matters and everybody dies.
I like it.
So, the advice for kids in that sense is who gives a shit? Kill your parents.
Damn. Some people choose that route.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck
that's
it,
true.
man. Yeah.
Those are the ones that could really make something of the world.
Those are the leaders we need.
Put that into curing paralysis instead of killing your parents. Maybe kill your parents and then find a way to resurrect them.
Ooh.
Yeah, cure death.
Cure that or cancer. Give your parents cancer.
I feel like we need more things along the lines of cancer because there are way too many people in the world and medicine is increasing exponentially.
Yeah.
And it's terrible and people are living longer.
Yeah.
And we have less room and less
resources.
decent people in the world. I don't even think it's a matter of resources. I think it's just the people that have it aren't sharing it as they should.
Yeah.
But, then again, I also subscribe to the idea that if you have it, why should you be required to share it with others?
Yeah. I mean, that's you're not.
It's a weird balance.
Yeah, fuck them.
So, hey, man, for the good of humanity, unless you don't want to, then you're a dick. But I
You're
respect
an
your dickness.
Respect.
I hate it, but it's your right. I don't know. Shit's weird, man. Did you poop or pee?
I peed.
Okay.
Yeah. I wish I could poop that quick.
Yeah.
Smell the poop on her?
Man. Yeah. People that poop fast, like Casper can poop fast.
I wish.
That's weird, man.
It takes me forever.
Yeah.
Depends on what shit I'm on, how fast it is. The other morning, she was like curling her hair. I was like, I want to take a quick shit. She's like, no, I'll take it in. I was like, no. I went in there like what? Fucking under 30 seconds.
It was like 30 seconds, yeah.
And shit came out, if you were wondering. I just pushed it out and went blah, blah, blah. I was like, done. No wipe. I mean, I didn't have to wipe. There wasn't no wipe.
No, he's like, I just didn't even do it.
Yeah, I mean, I tested the spot.
I used to be super fast, and all of a sudden, I can't. So, there's my life right now.
So
full of shit is what it is.
Yeah.
What you is.
That's what I is. Yep.
Yeah, man, but our advice, I know we went on a tangent on just a few subjects. It's pretty good. We stayed on point, but we were talking about the nihilistic approach to life on the way home, and that's what I told her. I was like, even like, I get low, bro, and then like nihilistically speaking, low, right? Like, what the fuck is the point? And then, but still, I think when I approach I think that's what I was talking about. When I approach that wanting to go get the gun, wanting to go get the razor blade, wanting to climb on that roof and fucking jump off. When I get to that point, I think when I get to that point, if I was to ever hold the gun in my hand or the razor blade or that be on the top, I don't think that I would jump, because a small portion of myself, loaded way down deep, still has hope that I still feel the hope for the world. I still feel the hope for myself and the people around me. And I still feel like there's that hope. So I don't think...
Well, I mean, there is that, but then it's also like the biological disallowance of that. Because like you have the survival mechanism that every living thing does, until it reaches that point. But whatever. The thing I really want to say is that if you decide to do that, go to like a tall thing and then like slash both your wrists and then shoot yourself in the head before you hit.
Oh, then they would have no one.
It'd be like a race with yourself.
It's ridiculous.
Or maybe I have to wait for the shot like midway through the fall though, so that like it is actually a race to see which one gets me, right? I mean, I know the fall will be indefinite, right? But the corner would be like, which thing killed him?
Yeah.
And they'd give him a puzzle to work, or her a puzzle to work.
It.
Yeah. Dumb.
They definitely do enjoy a good puzzle.
I know.
Look at it
that is a good idea.
I don't know what the fuck happened.
This is my favorite death of the year.
Why in the world has nobody ever done that? Because there has to be like a depressed comic somewhere that's like, what would be funny?
Yeah.
And then enter
they
Ian's
put like an
suggestion.
arrow through their head.
Yeah. Just it makes me wonder.
I'm sure someone's done that.
Yeah.
I'll
Throughout
look it up.
time and history,
No, I won't.
somebody. Yeah, you probably won't.
It's already out of my mind.
But yeah, dude, that's I think that even like nihilism, in a sense, like I am very nihilistic sometimes, but I still turn myself around by that slim chance that there's hope for the people around. There's hope for this world. There's hope for myself. Like, I don't think it's over yet. You know what I mean? And I don't think when I approach that area of my mind that it would ever follow through.
So I just think like with God, because all of the things, it's like with the idea of nihilism or meaning or whatever, if there is infinity, then it doesn't matter, because there's not going to be some end good thing. Because in the infinite, there is no end. So even if we reach this pinnacle of joy, let's say there's a utopia, it wouldn't last forever. Because if so, then that would mean the end. So
it would mean you arrived at that point.
Yeah. We're at the destination. Okay, now there's nothing. So it's like we can give all the advice we want, but it's meaningless.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's only going to help temporarily, and everything is temporary, even if it's permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little bit of freedom in that mindset, too. Like, people look at nihilism like it's bad and shit like that, but there is a certain amount of freedom within nihilism.
Yeah.
I mean, not for the people who justify killing a massive amount of people in the sake of nihilism.
But if everybody's going to die, who cares?
Might as well get them to that finish line.
Yeah.
I know, man.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. I think about like the people in my life that I really truly wouldn't want to see die. And that's why I say I think about it a lot, dude. Pretty much every day I think about...
God, maybe think about other stuff.
I know, man. Like approaching that time where I know that it's like done and my body knows that it's done and my mind knows it's done. And it's like, when you get there, there is no like, all right, man, I was just joking. I'll go like run on a treadmill, or I'm joking, man. Like, I don't want to, whatever. I take back everything I said. I don't. There's none of that. Like, you can't say that.
Maybe you can.
You can't.
You don't know that.
I do know that.
Get him.
You don't know.
Yeah. I was worried you were going to be like, my man knows. Fuck.
Well, in my mind, I was like, I side with him on this one, but you don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
But
in a world of infinites, you don't know.
I think even if we did reach Utopia, and that we thought that it was like that was the destination, that it would dawn on us that it wasn't, because you would have a Hitler come along, you would have somebody like a Stalin or somebody who wanted to be a world leader. Somebody would want to disrupt the system.
All right, well, let's say hypothetically we get to this utopia and there's infinite abundance. what would someone's motivation be for becoming a Hitler or a Stalin?
Boredom.
They're just
But it's not
mentally-
utopia if you can get bored.
They're just mentally unwell. Some people.
There is no mental unwellness in a utopia
Why?
So they're
because it's perfect. The idea of a utopia is that it's perfect. Everything is properly balanced, and you have no reason to do anything bad. You never
So-
want anything. You never need anything.
so the answer
It's
is
all there.
that a utopia is impossible. Not in our current state of being.
Yeah, but that's not impossible just because it's not possible for us now.
I feel like still it would, even if it is perfect,
Yeah.
there's still the possibility that genetically someone would come along and something,
Like the
there's a
chain
screw
breaks.
loose.
No.
Yeah.
The
You
utopia
see,
breaks.
Yes.
the fact that it's perfect negates that possibility.
But it wouldn't, because you can't control genetics. Shit still happens.
No, I'm saying by pure
someone
definition.
would still be autistic.
No. By pure definition, in the infinite possibility of things, if you have a place that is in every way perfect, that is not a possibility.
Yeah, because everything.
Because by definition, everything is perfect.
Well, then in the infinite, by definition of infinity, everything is possible. In a utopia, there would
Everything is
come
possible, yes.
Yes,
But
there would
that's-
come along.
That's in a different realm than what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, yes, that's still a possibility in a parallel universe. But in this reality,
Yeah.
I want to know, if everything was absolutely perfect, what would someone's reason be for going all Hitler or Stalin?
You don't think it would?
I guess you wouldn't have it in this current state, unless they were just like, okay, everything's perfect. I guess they wanted more joy for themselves and less for others. But I guess that like fucks up the first rule. They're like, I want more.
Infinite abundance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could never run out of it.
Do they? I mean,
So-
is there the possibility of hate? Could they hate someone?
Only if they like it. And only if the people that are hated like being hated.
Well, then,
no.
in that case, if if said new Hitler wanted to kill a group of people and they wanted to be killed, I guess the other people probably wouldn't be okay with it, so it would still be considered like a bad thing. So
So
I
that
don't know.
we were talking about yesterday.
Possibility.
yeah,
When we transferred highways about we were talking about that we're thinking, since we're having all this unrest and there's a lot of people that are working towards acceptance of everybody because they put a name, there's like, lists for names of people that identify differently as a typical human
That
in
means
response.
essentially the same thing.
Yeah. So you have that, right? And then you also have groups of people, of course, race is a big thing. And we're still working on everybody being acceptance, not even paying attention to it, really. Not even bringing it up in a conversation because it doesn't exist in our minds. We're just whatever. And I told her, I was like, really what we're working towards being just human, no labels on anything. We're just, you're a human, I'm a human. Let's be humans together on this planet where we can be humans and be other humans. And
The
play
gray
with them.
race.
Yeah.
yeah.
So if we're working towards that, I feel like anything good that has ever happened in the world, it took extreme amount of pressure to get that, right? And I'm not talking like, oh, it takes a fucking, a lot of pressure to make a diamond. I'm not saying that. Well, it takes a lot of hardship, a lot of war, a lot of figuring it out, a lot of arguments and all that to eventually get to a point where we accept all, right? And you got to weed out the generational trauma that's happened. You have to weed out all the trauma that we pass on to our children and generation of trauma, right? So you're talking on a like million years from now, right? If we're working towards a better planet where we're all, there are no sexes or anything. We don't categorize anything. We're just human. There's only one word, and
Well,
it's
how
human.
do we procreate?
I mean, there are sexes, but we just don't talk about it.
Yeah, we're just
Okay.
not like, we don't base a conversation on
You
like
wouldn't
you're a
walk up
man,
and
woman.
say I'm a girl,
Yeah.
or I'm a female. I guess would be proper in that instance. But
Yeah, you
They're
just be that.
synonymous.
yeah,
And instead of like grouping everything and putting a name on it, and then those people get in a group and then hating, or not even hating, but having an ideal or whatever, an argument against another
okay.
group.
So it sounds like this is eradicating individuality.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
So that we don't get in these group mindset things and we battle each other and stuff.
Okay,
I mean,
which then you could just label as I'm alone. Because if there's no individuality, then there's nothing different. You would be the same as me.
Yeah. I mean, you can still look different,
Right?
but
And be different. It's just we don't put labels on everything. We don't have to describe and not saying there's not a definition for things, right? There are still the definitions.
Okay, so we just don't use them negatively.
Right.
I just wouldn't have to be like, I'm a 5'10" Caucasian female, fucking whatever else.
And I'm better than somebody who, let's say, transitioned to a 5 foot whatever female and stuff like that. We don't
I
have
used to
to
be 6'1" and my shins are gone.
Yeah, I think mostly for that. I mean, we hate people for their race and their religion and their sexual preference and their identifiers. Like, we hate people for these things because we just don't quite understand, and it's like fucking up our, old mindsets and weird whatever predispositions to things. And then, so I think that if we got to a place where your religion didn't matter and I didn't force you to fucking understand mine, I just like this stuff because I like it. And you're like, cool, man. Like, I fucking like this. And we're good with that.
I'm a human.
Yeah. I don't have to argue about abortion and shit with you. And you don't have to argue about, like, nihilism to me or whatever. Or, like, the infinite or the universe and whatever they don't believe in.
But then that feels like it's people accepting that everything that happens doesn't matter. Because
Yeah,
I mean,
that sounds great.
Well, yeah, but then that's just nihilism, and then there we
Fucking
are.
perfect.
But what if
We've solved the problems.
No, what if we take out all the dumb shit we fight about, which is usually, I mean, look at the presidents make it. It's always like abortion, gun rights, fucking some type of religion. Apparently, we're a Christian state.
So it's religion and politics and
it's like
gender and
gender and shit.
Yeah, shit
so
like that.
If you take all that out, we have more time to spend on bettering technology. Bettering's not a word.
Race.
Improving technology, improving development, improving the state of third world countries, and putting them back to where they used to be. You know what I mean? So we have more time to not argue about stuff that truly doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like
but
you
even
said.
on an individual level, if you just eat celery and chicken all the time, you're going to be better than if you eat Doritos. But you're going to eat Doritos, and that's harmful to your body.
Yeah.
So if you're not being completely good to yourself, how can we expect others to be good to others?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying about millions of years of like developing this state of being just happy who you are and happy that everybody else is who they are. Like, not worrying about being better or getting ahead and all that. We're just, like you said, we found a place where everything's abundant. Knowledge is abundant. Food is abundant. Everything, resources are abundant. And you can just be a human without all the fluff.
So then is acceptance and love and the absence of hate dependent upon things?
Material?
Yeah, well, like the idea of abundance. Like, oh, well, if we have enough of everything,
Oh, no.
then I won't
feel
care.
I feel like it's dependent upon equality. Everyone having the same whatever.
So communism.
Yes, I
Nihilistic
swear to God,
communism.
I was sitting here thinking nihilistic communism.
Yeah.
All
for
right,
sure.
But
Yeah.
then if we have that, what's going to motivate people to ever accomplish anything more?
Why do they
Because I mean,
have
that
to?
just seems like, well,
No,
idea
I
of
think, though,
the idea of creating the abundance, it's unless people have a reason to strive for more,
right.
it's only ever going to happen if it just miraculously pops into existence.
I think we went too far in that direction of like, we are wanting the equality, but there's still a sense of adventure and getting places. Like, we would focus more on getting to another planet because we all would collectively not have to argue about all the semantics when it comes to global warming and the threat of asteroids and meteors. So the threat of losing the good that you have, we would travel to far reaches of space and people would fucking like, battle over one another. We're not saying everybody has to be millionaires. We're just saying everybody
I'm
has
just
what they
thinking
need.
at a base thing. Like, you take the idea of equality. Everybody has the same. Everybody is the same. In nature, that's not even the case. Like, there are weaker gazelles. They get picked off. So in the state of nature, in its current state, there's inequality. So then for humanity to go above that, it feels hubristic to say that we can be better than nature.
Well, this whole idea that we are supposed to be like nature is ridiculous.
Why? But we are of nature.
We are of nature, but we are different than nature. There's also animals that rape other animals.
Yeah,
so are we supposed to just be like,
there are people that fuck
fine.
Goats. People rape each other.
Yeah, and are you cool with that?
No, but
okay, so let's get rid of that shit
no,
too.
but it is just what happens.
But the shit that I like, the reason that we would continue to do stuff, like all the stuff that we had, would be we would provide it. So we would like make the stuff. So that's why we would like continue to do things, is because it would be dependent upon us.
Right. Okay. So then with that, if it's dependent upon us, then who do we have that is guiding this stuff? Like, who's the leader? Who makes the decisions?
Bob Saget.
I think wouldn't it be?
All right.
It would
So
be
Bob
like
Saget's making the
collective.
decisions. Well, if it's a collective, then you want something
would be a
different than what I want. Then what?
I think like weighing the options based on the information given, like an entire group of people would be able to make the right decision given all the exterior stuff and the I want to be better than you thing.
Okay, so if we have a differing opinion, then it goes to majority rule.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which is what democracy is.
Well, then let's have a communistic, nihilistic democracy.
Well,
and that's a dictatorship.
I think democracy is not a bad thing. Democracy is not, I don't think, the issue. I think the way they militarize democracy and they pit us against each other, I think that terribly they fucking sit in their chairs and they watch us fucking battle when they're not suffering at all. Democracy itself, in essence, isn't bad. It's the way they use it against us and the way they skew it when we put in the votes or when they gerrymander, when they, the electoral college fucking,
let's
blatantly
get rid of
lies
the
about it.
electoral college.
So it's
that
not
would
honest.
be nice. But I mean, let's say we have the perfect system in place. We still have imperfect humans.
Oh, yeah.
Then how do we weed them out?
Well, you still have like jails and prisons to lock them away when they do things that the collective
But if
doesn't
everybody's
agree with.
equal, the people that are outside of the prison are superior to the people that are in it. And the people that are running it are better than the people that are in it. And the people that are running it are better than the people that are outside of it.
I don't think the people that are running it are better than the people in it.
No. They might not be better like in that sense, but they have more authority and control than the people that don't.
Well,
therefore, they're unequal.
I got you.
Yeah, I think unequal in that sense,
Let
but
'em out.
not unequal in their...
But then you made the decision to let them out. Therefore, you're unequal to them.
I think
I saw this
unequal in
thing.
the sense of religion, race, just the things we argue about, not as far as like that class goes, right? I think that when I say abundance, I mean, so you don't have these billionaires and then you have thousands of millions of people suffering when in reality we can end that right the fuck now. But you still have the prisons. You still have the things in place. You still...
it's not chaos.
Yeah, you bring like democracy under a microscope and you weed out these corrupt fucks that pit us against each other and that they hoard money and resources. And it's just... There's a lot of corruption within a system that is beautiful, and we could change to a point where we're all equal in the sense of race, religion, the things that are those big headlines, and still be, you have that because if you commit a crime, of course that person is superior to you in the fact that their job is to watch the people who do corrupt fucking shit.
Look, this whole thing started because I want to be called human rather than Caucasian female.
But you recognize
cisgendered female who likes like fucking
But it also
whatever.
stemmed from Adam's idea of hate and like getting rid of it instead of judging people based on things.
And you recognize though, you posted those things, and then you posted one yesterday that I said in my thing, like everything goes so fucking, like we sat there and talked about it. So I was just like, you could keep picking at the thing and then it changes every time you pick something out or put something in. It's like it vastly changes the landscape of the ideal that you had. And I think so many people think that, oh, this fixes it. We just fucking get them all off the street, it fixes them.
Quit shaking
and
the
then
table.
it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it causes all these other issues that we thought, oh, we didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
So that's...
Yeah,
That's
it's like
the only
the whole,
bad thing.
for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah, dude.
It's like, oh, we fixed this, but there were unintended consequences. Oh, let's fix that. Well, unintended
Gonna
consequences.
be some, yeah.
But just the whole idea of like the equality thing, it's just, I look at it from the perspective of, it's a dichotomy, but I mean, you either have individuality or you have hive mind.
Mm.
If you have hive mind, all is one. If you have individuality, there's always going to be butting of heads, even if people are equal. What if I don't want to be equal? What if I want to go out and do my own thing? Oh, well, you can't do that. You have to be like us. Oh, well, then I'm a hive mind.
Yeah.
And then we're just one.
Interesting.
I got you.
Yeah.
Got where it's going. God, picking up what you're putting down. That's what I'm trying to say.
Maybe we just kill those people. I'm joking.
We're tyrants.
And the whole system falls apart
Yes.
once again. We start all over.
If only Bob Saget wasn't dead, he could be in control.
I know. He really fucked up.
I know, man.
Fucker.
You let us down, Bob.
We get
Yeah.
Dave Coulier to do it.
Fine. We can, fine, I guess.
I think too, people like don't really have a clear vision of what they're like. You ask anybody what's happiness for them, and they'll say all these things, and then they'll start like contradicting themselves within the happiness conversation. It's like, well, what is your vision of how you want the world, and how would you get there, and how would you make the change? Whatever, you know. Usually they get stuck on one little thing, and they're like, oh, I thought this out to the very end, right? But then you offer all these things that come with that, and then they're like, oh, I don't know, I just want like this equality or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
I just want green
I want
company.
everybody happy. I want everybody to be equal.
Yeah.
Well, because everything's so fucking complicated. I
Mhm.
mean, if it wasn't so complicated, shit would be simple.
Yeah.
And
I
it's,
And
mean-
since things are complicated, you have to have complicated answers.
Yeah.
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 And people try to simplify things.
Yeah. And
All
some
we
of us
can't.
don't have
Oh.
complicated answers.
All
Just
of
saying.
us.
And then that's
Oh.
when those things fail.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Especially
Yeah.
when they're
That'd be
not
a
well
major
thought out.
failure.
It just makes me so fucking angry when people say, oh, no, you're thinking too hard. Oh, you're overcomplicating things. No,
What?
motherfucker. Existence is complicated.
Yeah.
And simplifying it makes it worse.
Yeah.
You know, when somebody like you offers those, I'm sure that the people like it, and I've seen them in the comments before. It's like, it makes you what? It's like, no, like you can't get there. Like when you approach somebody like that, you completely fuck their world up because you offer those things and they can't comprehend behind the, you know, past the thing that they thought. And like, this is it. Everybody says it. This is it.
Yeah.
You know, and then
And if you disagree, then you're a
you're
fuck
an idiot.
ass.
Yeah, you're the idiot.
Yeah.
Even though that you've thought about it intellectually and you've worked some of the outcomes out, not every single one of them, but
Right.
so it's like you think about people like that and how fucking like simple they are in that manner. They think they're doing something like grand and this is it, and then somebody like you comes around and it's just, you know, they can't stand it. I see those people do this. They can't fucking stand it. They're like, yeah. Dude, it's simpler than that.
Yeah,
You're
dude.
thinking
Fucking
too
got
hard.
him.
Who's ever said that? You're thinking too hard. If you've said that, check yourself before you wreck it.
Right?
Oh, shit. Well, y'all ready to eat some fucking food?
Yeah, I'm
For
not,
sure.
not hungry.
I'm fucking hungry.
Yeah.
Getting these tacos up in me.
Jackies. Jackies.
No, dude. All right. So that was a great episode, man. I appreciate anybody who sat through that. And if you have a comment and want to speak on some of these issues, please put it in the comments. But if you don't, you probably won't. That's cool. You know, fuck off and have a good
Oh,
week.
man. That reminded me of a
Nope.
dude. I was watching this thing. He was talking about, like, I was watching different
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
lighting. Different lighting techniques and stuff. And he got
Oh,
to the, like, at the end of the third video, like, all of them, he was like, you know, if you liked what you saw, don't subscribe. Don't like it. We don't care about those things. And then by the third
nice.
video, I was like, okay, subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a good idea too, because they said more people are apt to do it if you tell them like not to open the video. More people will open it because they're like, well, you're not going to tell me. I can do whatever I want.
Right?
What do you mean?
Don't open this or watch this. Fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Hey, don't come over here and suck my dick and give me your paycheck.
You won't tell me what
You
dick
won't
to
tell
suck.
me what to not
No, I
suck.
ain't want my ass eaten.
Damn it, man. No, man, we appreciate you making this far. You know, thank you for your support, and we hope you have a great week. And don't kill anybody. 'Cause
Yeah.
you know,
And be
murder is
kind
bad.
to one
Unless you
another.
truly feel it.
Yeah, I mean, if that's
you
what's
just gotta
in
do
your
what you gotta
heart.
do.
If your intuition says
Get a
off
lawyer.
someone.
And Adam, that's Ian, that's
Bye.
Sarah. Thank you again.
Ba-ba-ba.
Happy birthday,
Oh
Adam.
yeah, it's your birthday, boy. Happy, happy, happy,
Wildly
happy
uninteresting.
Oh, come on,
birthday.
end it already.
144, 4, 5, 5, 4, 5, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4.